celebrating a graduation full of hope for the future. This was life in Gaza for Ihab's family before the war. Now, Ihab is one of almost 2 million Palestinians that have been displaced. We never needed anything from anyone before the war, Ihab says. But now we are in a situation where I am forced to beg for a loaf of bread just to feed the children. In this makeshift shelter, without access to adequate food supplies or medical care, Ihab's husband became severely malnourished and later died. The hardest thing was losing my husband, the way in which he died, she says. We're all going to die one day, but every death has a reason. He died from hunger, from oppression. He had no food and no water for 55 days. It's very difficult for me to accept this. Satellite images show the scale of the destruction in central Gaza. Buildings, roads, completely destroyed by Israel's relentless bombing campaign. Israel says it is targeting Hamas, but 6 months on, and the death toll has now surpassed 33,000. The vast majority, civilians. Each week has brought with it yet more horror. More bodies pulled from beneath the rubble of destroyed homes, more funerals. Survivors forced to flee from one battleground to another. And now, more children left emaciated by a hunger crisis which is threatening to push Gaza deeper towards famine. UN experts have accused Israel of intentionally starving the Palestinian people by restricting access to aid, with dire shortages leading to deadly desperation. What few hospitals remain in Gaza are overrun and desperately lacking in essential supplies. Gaza's largest medical facility, Al-Shifa, now turned into a graveyard by Israel's bloody 14-day siege on the complex. In just 6 months, this war has become the deadliest conflict for children, aid workers and journalists. Fuad al-Ma'ni has worked through multiple wars in Gaza, but he says he has never seen anything like this before. His son, a fellow paramedic, was killed by an Israeli airstrike while responding to an emergency call. Others have lost tens of family members, Fuad says, but losing my son feels like I've lost the entire world. Desperate to escape Israel's near-constant air assault on Gaza, more than 1 million people have sought refuge in the southern border city of Rafah, where Israel says it is preparing for a ground incursion, a move the UN warns would lead to unimaginable disaster. Israel's actions in Gaza have triggered a genocide hearing at the International Court of Justice, allegations Israel denies, and a UN Security Council resolution calling for an immediate ceasefire. But hopes for peace remain elusive. The beach makes me forget our pain, our sadness, our martyrs, Ihab says. Every time I come, I complain to the sea, hoping that God will respond and finally take us away from this pain. Nada Bashir, CNN, London.